Hey guys, it's Rich here. In this video, we're going to be talking about the very special iPhone X, a revolutionary smartphone that came out in late 2017 that I think comes close to the iPhone 5S in terms of major changes. Now, there's a lot of good things to talk about this, like the lack of the home button, Face ID, all glass build, all that good stuff. And ultimately, I want to share my experience using it in 2021. So, let's talk about it. So let's get some key features out of the way. This was the first iPhone to ditch the home button, and Apple fans, like always, were stressing out. Nowadays, it's completely normal to see a smartphone without a home button, so it's funny to see how time changes. Anyways, the iPhone X brought some new features to the market that greatly sets this phone apart, like Face ID, a nearly bezel-less design, and a near final version of iOS 11 when it first came out. So starting off with the design, the iPhone X features an all-glass build with a highly polished stainless steel band that seamlessly wraps around the phone and gives it this nice durability, all while maintaining its IP67 waterproof rating so you can feel safe getting some water on it without it breaking. Now, it's rocking that beautiful 5.8-inch Super Retina display with True Tone technology. The screen on this iPhone does not disappoint, and it still holds up super well with most modern smartphones today. I still think the colors look very nice and vibrant to even the true blacks. And yes, it may not feature the same ProMotion technology which you may find on the iPad Pro with the 120Hz screen, but a phone like this for its time, I don't think it really matters. The X fits ergonomically in one hand, and even if you put an extra case on it, it doesn't get too bulky. I can easily reach all four corners of the screen comfortably, I can text one hand, and that's pretty cool. So basically, in a nutshell, the size of the iPhone X is great. Alright, so probably what most people want to know about this smartphone now is it laggy? How does it perform today? Well, the X is using Apple's A11 Bionic chip, which features up to 6 cores in the CPU clocked at 2.39 GHz with 3 GB of memory RAM. And that, my friends, still has a lot of power to help you chug through your usage for the next few years. If you didn't get that, essentially this phone is future-proof. A lot of third-party developers aren't going to be held back by this. The CPU has a lot of life left, so that's pretty comforting to know. I don't feel like my iPhone is lagging at all. Apps open just as fast as I can remember. Texting is fast, opening and closing apps is fast. You can see here that I'm navigating through my home screen without any lags or stutters, and overall the experience is quick, fluid, and smooth even today. So speaking about power, I don't want to forget about the powerful camera on this device. The front 7-megapixel true depth camera enables Face ID, auto image stabilization, and portrait mode. The Face ID is snappy. Many people were skeptical at first, but after Apple finished polishing it through the iOS updates, it's actually pretty fast. The rear camera though is very impressive as it's a 12-megapixel system with dual optical image stabilization, the f1.8 aperture for wide-angle lens, and 2.4 for the telephoto lens. Both of these lenses work together to get you some seriously great photos with vibrant, realistic colors and more detail. You can also record in 4K up to 60 frames per second, which is very impressive, and not many other DSLR cameras could have matched those specs at that time. All of this harmoniously works together without having any lag. You can see that I'm scrolling left and right through photo mode, time lapse, back to square, all that. And it's not having any hiccups whatsoever. And honestly, if you're going to be taking photos of your friends or the places you visit, maybe some homework, this camera is very reliable and will do the job, and overall I'm very satisfied. So unfortunately, I was unable to get some footage of the iPhone X with wireless charging, and to be quite honest with you, I personally have not been using wireless charging that much. I do have an Apple MagSafe charger, but I find that the classic lightning cable works fine for me. Wireless charging hasn't appealed to me. It is much slower than using your typical cable charger. My battery health on this device is at 76%. I'm sure many people know that the biggest problems with lithium-ion batteries is that they degrade over time, and that's to be expected with every smartphone on the market. It doesn't go for that full 13 hours of use I always had on a full charge. This device can last up to around 3 to 5 hours give or take, so that is another problem, something to keep in mind if you have one of these devices. Leave a comment down below what your battery life is like if you have one of the iPhone Xs. Now, what do I think about the iPhone 10 for the future? Well, let's say there's an iOS 16, 17, 18, or maybe 19, if we ever get there, or if Apple decides to release those versions. I think that the iPhone will last maybe 3 to 4 years, give or take. You know, the performance on this phone is amazing already. It looks very modern. You're not gonna look like some old school kid with some flip phone. I mean, this phone literally looks, you know, gorgeous. It looks beautiful. So don't fret. Don't feel like you're missing out on anything new. This phone definitely can handle a lot. Now, that's all I have on the iPhone 10, and I want to hear your thoughts on this phone. Do you have this phone? You know, how long have you had it for? Is the battery life good? You know, is it taking care of you? All that good stuff. And if you don't, are you looking at getting this? You know, what are your thoughts? You know, leave a comment down below. I want to hear each and every one of them. I'll give you a reply back. Now, if you are trying to find this phone, you know, I find these on eBay or news online websites for pretty cheap now, you know, $300, $270. The other day, I found one on my local Craigslist for as low as $175 for the 64GB version, and that was a steal. It's kind of crazy how low these great phones can get nowadays, so I mean, anyone can get it. Other than that, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for staying. Give a like if you like this video, and hit that subscribe button if you're new. And until then, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.